always excited to bring new information and wonderful people to you. We are welcoming a new host here on Sylvia Global Media Network, Reverend Felecia Smith. Her show title is Front Row Conversations, and she's here with us today. Reverend Smith, thank you so much for joining us. How are
My
you?
pleasure. I'm excited. I'm excited.
It's very, very exciting for us as well to have a topic associated with women's spirituality and covenant communities,
Mhm.
particularly targeting those who are in ministry and who are involved either as the pastors or as the women, as first ladies, the wives of
Right.
pastors. Talk
Exactly.
to us about front row conversations and what our audience can look forward to.
Well, front row conversation, I mean, the name itself, traditionally, a lot of pastors' wives either sit on the first row or the second row. I mean, that's traditionally in many cultures, not everyone. And so, front row conversation means that we're going to have those authentic conversations. My platform is around emotional and spiritual health. And by that, I mean being able to identify feelings, our emotions, doing the interior work that I believe God requires us to do so that we could lead our congregations into wholeness and health and being empowered to do the work of God. And what happens so often, and this was a lesson that I learned myself, was that we are busy doing activity driven, but that's the exterior stuff, but we don't take the time to take care of the interior work. And it starts with the leadership. And so that's what front row conversation is about. How can we begin to build covenant community? How can we identify those issues around authenticity where we can take off the mask, really show our brokenness and our vulnerability to people, because those are the people that we're ministering to within the walls of the church and outside of the wall of the church. We really, many times, we don't have it all together. We are like hearing now, and we are wounded healers. And when we begin to speak that and to walk in that, it empowers other people to say, hey, you can come along on this journey too. There is a word from you. God does use you, even in the midst of all the things that you've experienced.
You've been involved in ministry for over 30 years. Is there a particular moment that made this become very important to you, or some experience that you had personally?
Yes, absolutely. And I talk about it. My husband and I, we've been married 38 years. And in 2004, we had a major crisis in our ministry and in our marriage. God was faithful to us. And we, to use the word of a well-known person, Ayana Vizet, we did the work. And from that, it was as if God said, step back. There are some things that you must take care of. And one of those things we found out was ourselves, because we were doing ministry, but not being ministry. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of the interior work. And so out of that was birthed this entire ministry of Metamorphosis. I had no idea that out of this would come ministry. And so what I would say to that, that a lot of times out of your pain comes purpose. If you allow yourself to grow from that, that's what happens. And so that's what happened to us. And the ministry just continued to move forward.
You know, one of the other things that I'm very excited about learning and experiencing with you here on Sylvia Global is that you share some unique perspectives and bring a common messages in very unique ways. You have a book coming out that reflects that. My
Yes.
Hair, My Marriage. Talk about your upcoming book.
I'm telling you, that is really something. Of course, my mother was a beautician. I probably have had over 100, maybe 200 hairstyles in my life. And so what I've done is compared each of those hairstyles with marriage, because there's a lesson out of it. And part of that is my humor, but also I have an obsession with hair too. So I want my audience to know that from week to week, you never know what I'm going to look at like. And I always tell people, focus in on the face, not the hair. So the book is about that. And actually, growing up in a beautician's home, we were the persons that the experiments were done on us. So I take this journey from my first hairstyle, two plaits and a braid-in top, and that chapter is called Messy Head. And each story ties in with marriage, and I've just made the correlation. And so it's a great piece. I think people will be blessed whether you're married or single. It's a relationship piece. My hair, my marriage. Go figure that one for real.
It's fun being a girl.
Yes, absolutely.
We get to do so many wonderful things with our
Yes.
hair, and and the sitting in the seat of a beautician or whoever does our
Yes.
hair on a regular
Yes.
basis is a
Yes.
part of that ministering opportunity to
Absolutely.
affect our interior spirit and emotional
Right.
needs while the exterior is being addressed. Reverend Felecia Smith, we're excited to have you here on
I'm
Sylvia Global.
excited.
You
Yes.
premiere on October the 7th. And
Absolutely.
we have
11
our
o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Time. And give them your website address so they can learn more about you.
www.connectgrowchange. I know it's a lot, but so is Metamorphosis Ministry. So www.connectgrowchange.com.
Thank you so
And
much. We'll look forward to
you're,
meeting your guests and hearing more from you, Reverend
all
Felecia
right.
Smith.
Okay, thank you.